Ah, yes, the end of the year. Or, well, not that far into the new year. Yes, sure, that's what we'll go with. Hey guys, it's Kalder from Dial H for Heroclix, and today we're going to be talking about my Heroclix Wrapped. All familiar with the end of the year things like Spotify Wrapped or like Steam Game Awards that show you the most listened to artists, music types, genres, and whatnot that you've listened to throughout the year. Now that is an automatic system that Spotify or Apple or whoever has in order to show, hey, we were listening to you and what you were listening to. But what if there was something for Heroclix that showed you the most played figure of the year, your favorite styles of team that you played, how many games you won or lost? I know there is the WizKids Info Network that does keep track of all games that are put into the win, so you can see your overall lifetime wins and losses there. But what if there was something a little more specific for each year? And good listener, that is exactly what I did. Throughout all of 2024, I kept track of every single figure I played. Now, what was the process that I used for that? I simply made an HC Units team every single time I built a regular team, and then when I got back home after playing it, I clicked have 3 times, or however many rounds I played with that team, on each individual figure. Now obviously this is very manual, and there's a lot of different ways that you can do it. You could make a spreadsheet, you could do whatever. For me, making an HC Units team, and then after I was done, just clicking have the amount of times that I played a figure, was good enough for me, and it was very simple to keep track of everything. So while the give and take is that I don't have my collection on HC Units, I can live with that. You are instead using it to keep track of how many times you've played a certain number of figures. Now, obviously, there's more ways and more things that you can keep track of stuff, right? I only did the amount of figures that I played and how many times I played X figure. This goes for equipment, but I didn't track any things like maps. I did not track my wins and losses. I know that the WizKids Info Network will track wins and losses if it's in an official win event. But besides that, I didn't track any of those things. You could have tracked Battle Royales played and won. You could have tracked overall wins and losses. You could have tracked the amount of sealed games you played. There's all sorts of things that you can track in Heroclix, but this system is very manual, so I kept it very easy for the first year doing it. Now, there are some small rules that I followed. I know I said I built an HC Units team, and then I just clicked have on every figure I played, and that is true. It was only every figure I played. So I kind of had to keep in the back of the mind or keep track while I'm playing. Did Absorbing Man Prime come out? Did Beetlejuice come out? X, Y, and Z. If a figure did not leave the sideline, I don't count that figure as having actually played. I only planned if they actually touched the board. Same thing with generics. If they were generated, I would only add one of them versus trying to keep track of the amount of generics I generated each game and took who know how many actions with, right? So that all didn't get tracked. I also didn't track any generated bystanders. Pretty much the main figure that was tracked, you can pretty much just assume that the bystander was tracked along with it. So with all that being said, and you kind of have an idea of the system I used, how many Heroclix figures did I play in 2024, and what was my Heroclix Wrapped? 200 game elements that were unique, were played, and I really do just want to take a second and break down my top 5 figures. Obviously, everybody probably thinks they played a figure the most, and for me it was pretty obvious. I love Pegasus Captain America. I think he was phenomenal. When we got him after Worlds in 2023, I was like, how is this dude not my most played figure? So I was very excited to finally get him and get to play him, and that was reflected on the fact that I played multiples on so many teams. Now, of course, Timebreaker is very easy. I only tracked the amount of timebreakers that I actually physically put on the board. So that means I actually started with that many timebreakers and played it that many times. I did not count for each timebreaker I generated. So I just raw played 40 timebreakers main force over the course of the year, and then, you know, generated who knows how many. Daredevil and Hellcow are tied. Both these figures are tied for totally different reasons. Hellcow, I was super excited about the Legacy card, and I bought 10 Hellcows. Well, I already had a few, and then I bought 10 Hellcows, you know, to make up the difference, however many I needed, so I could play 300-point games of just all Hellcow, because she really is just that fun. So she has so many because I played so many of her on a team. Versus Legacy Daredevil, I did play about 3 or so of him on most teams, and then when I did play competitively last year, it was very heavy Daredevil teams, and I played him a lot. Chthon is a very easy one to come in at 4th place for most played. He's on the sideline, and of course, he is used every time he's on the sideline because his effect is in use. So yes, I did count his sideline effect being in use, not just every time I actually brought him onto the map. So Chthon was played 15 times, which honestly seems kind of low when you think about like how usable Chthon is all the time. But you know, say lobby. And then of course, coming in 5th place is Flash Raptor. I think any set that just comes in at the end of the year is just not going to get as much play. That's just the truth, right? I wish I would have played Flash Raptor more. Ironically, he beats King Jefferson because I also just enjoyed playing the Jurassic League and playing him on other teams, right? So Flash Raptor ended up being the most played from Masters of Time, and so I'm pretty happy with that. Overall, he's an amazing figure with an amazing sculpt. My most played equipment is pretty crazy. I played 33 different types of equipment during last year. We played a lot of silver, we played a lot of golden, played a lot of modern, but I think maybe everybody can agree that Bucky's arm is probably their most played equipment, if not the most played equipment in 2024. Playing Bucky's arm 43 times. That's kind of insane. So that pretty much means every constructed team I built ever throughout last year pretty much had Bucky's arm on it, which is pretty dang wild, and I think that's hilarious. Well, everyone, thank you for joining me on this journey of figuring out how many Heroclix figures I played in 2024. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you plan to start tracking your figures for 2025, let me know. I know we're already a decent ways into it, but I've only played about 4 different events or so of Heroclix, and it's relatively fresh in my mind, so you should expect either by the end of 2025 or the very beginning of, dare I say, 2026, you can expect a video that's another Heroclix wrapped. And again, I encourage you to do your own Heroclix wrap and keep track of all the figures you play. Will you just keep track of figures? Will you keep track of wins, losses, sealed games, non-sealed games, competitive games, Silver Age? Let me know in the comment section below. If you found this video interesting or entertaining, feel free to give us a subscribe. This, I hope, becomes a very dated statement here, but we're really close to 3,000 subscribers, and I would love, love, love to hit that number before March, before February, the end of February. So please give us a subscribe if you've been enjoying the content, and like always, happy trails.